Thank you for watching this video. This video is video 2 in my little mini series where I'm going to encourage you to do a SWOT analysis on yourself to help your professional, your career journey, and also your personal development as well. So I've done S for strength. Today is W for weaknesses. And, weaknesses really are the thing that plague, consciously or unconsciously, they can hinder your professional development. So it's really important to get to a place where you accept them, you understand them, and you also release them through your career journey, so they don't become a hindrance. Now, I'll give you a really good example of this. I do a lot of interview preparation for sort of mid-tier to executive candidates, and is every time I come to the point of asking them, talk to me about your weaknesses, the first thing I get is largely they want me to tell them. Now, that tells me a few things. A, I can't do that. Why can't I do that? Because I'm not you. We want an authentic weakness. But the fact that so many people struggle to talk openly about their weaknesses tells me that they don't really know what they are, and it's so important to identify them. The one that I do hear the most of is this, it's packaged in slightly different ways, but it's the same theme. So it's, I am a perfectionist, I struggle to delegate, I take on too much work, therefore I, potentially have burnout, etc. Now, that may be the case. That might be one of your weaknesses when you're in your earlier career, and it's really important. I really encourage you to find ways to learn to relinquish a bit of control, to learn to delegate, to learn to trust others, so you can truly sit there as a middle manager or as an executive and say that you've overcome that with authenticity, because it is something that you really are conscious of and that you sort of release and surrender to every day or every week or however long it crops up. And the reason our weaknesses, when they're running us in the background, are really important to get on top of, is they are generally the things that hinder us the most in professional development, but also they have a huge crossover in our personal life. If you look at that example that I hear a lot of, the candidates, if they haven't truly learned to develop through that weakness, obviously they do risk burnout. They risk, families where they're sort of left because they're working all hours, God sends, because they don't know how to delegate and they're taking on too much and they don't know how to say no. So, it is a really important process to recognize your weaknesses. Now, how do you do that? Firstly, I would say write down as a little exercise all of the feedback that you've ever been given that has not been positive, that's been more about, perhaps some of your weaknesses, whether you agreed to it or not. You just write it down at this stage and sit on it and have a think about, does that resonate? Where's the truth in it? Is there truth in it? So if things are running us passively, we do need to understand and look at external sources that can help us identify. And it's not about judgment, it's about development. You can't develop through something if you don't know what it is, and if you're not consciously intending to do that. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do. So that's the first thing I would do. I would also look at the areas. So look at areas where you're least productive. And that can be, some people are, they're least productive in if they have a piece of admin to do, if they have some reading to do, or some emails come through. Where is it that you're, or is it leading a team? How do you sort of feel you need to do it, but it's actually, something that you really don't maximize when you are running a meeting. So identify the areas where you're least productive, and that will give you a good indication of where some weaknesses are. And then I would encourage you to really commit to working through those weaknesses so they don't hinder your career path, particularly if they are important for your particular job, or or if they're a well-known quality of leadership and you're looking to become a leader as you develop through your career, is the earlier you can release your weaknesses and find ways to support yourself so that it doesn't immobilize you, then the better. So that's my advice on weaknesses. Please watch the other ones: strengths, opportunities, and threats. And I really hope it helps you on your professional and personal journeys of development.